This is Teaching to the Test Pattern.
Hey, buddy, welcome to Teaching to the Test Pattern. I'm Tom White, and this is part 3, the finale of my conversation with Paul Terpstra from Klover Products. And in this episode, we talk about some random stuff. We talk about what makes audio or what makes video better, and that's good audio. What makes video unwatchable, and that's bad audio. And we talk about just some different things about parabolic microphones and offerings that they have at Klover Products. Definitely, if you're looking to give that big league sound, if you're looking to give your viewers or your listeners that sideline experience, definitely you need to check out Klover Products. And Paul gives you that information as we close out this series today. And some information I'm going to give you. Amatrace, AMITRACE.com. I know I talk about them twice an episode. I have no problem talking about them. And if you know me well, you know that I'm not going to talk about things I don't believe in. And I 100% believe in Amatrace. I've seen their work. I've talked with those guys countless hours, and I've talked to people that have talked to them and worked with them. People who just sing their praises, who are just enamored with the work that Amatrace does. Go look at their work first. Go look at them and then call them, and I assure you'll be in the same situation. AMITRACE.com. That's Amatrace. They're going to take care of what you need. And in about 15 minutes, we're going to take care of this series with Paul Terpstra from Klover Products. We're going to talk a little bit here about just a variety of things. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening. Here's Paul Terpstra in the finale of my conversation with him on Teaching to the Test Pattern.
Teaching to the Test Pattern.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, it's one of those things that's just it. I had a conversation with actually my brother-in-law where I was like, audio is 90% of video, and you'll watch a video that is not in HD, that has bad lighting but sounds great, 10 times longer than you'll watch like the best looking video that has terrible sound. Which segues right into my next thing. What are 3 things that people don't think about when it comes to sound for broadcast, either at events or what have you? And how does that relate to the parabolics?
Well, to be honest, I think what you just said is the biggest one. Most people don't realize how drastically the quality of your audio affects how many people are going to watch your video or how quick they're going to switch away from your video. There's been all sorts of studies on that. I'm sure you've seen some of them, that just amplify what you're saying. If you have bad audio, you'll switch away in a heartbeat. But if it's reasonable audio, you'll watch a video with bad images for, no problem. You forgive that. So that's probably the biggest one. I guess secondly, like you said, people don't think about how much of the ambient noise is encroaching on their audio. We've just kind of gotten accustomed to the guy, the mad parent screaming, next to the cameraman, and that comes through the audio. We've kind of gotten used to it, but it can sure make a world of difference when it's not there. Again, going right along with what you said, those little things like the breath of the pitcher or, his grunt as he releases the ball can really make a difference in, your reaction to the video. It makes you much more, I guess, immersed is the, common word right now. It does really bring you into the video when you can hear those kind of things. Oh, the other thing that I'd say that, people don't think about is what I mentioned earlier, is that shotguns are not a rifle. They're not called rifle mics, and there's a reason. They do have quite a wide pickup pattern. I mean, even the most expensive microphones will go off 45 degrees off center and have, pick up voices and sounds quite explicitly. Again, take your microphone and just walk around it from side to side as you're listening through headphones, and you'll be amazed how far off center you can be and still hear yourself very clearly, or, have another person speak in front of the microphone. So that's kind of the educational aspect of our sales and marketing, is just to get people to understand that, shotguns aren't nearly as focused as people would like to think. That's a challenge, I guess, for us to, that we're always trying to get people to realize how much they're picking up that they really don't want to pick up.
Gotcha. And earlier you teased us with, you're talking about, you said we may cover it. Let's go ahead and cover it. Increased focus from the parabolics. Like, I don't know how you do it. So what does that look like? How are you, how does that work? I know you're still probably early in it, but how does that work? I mean, it's already, and I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's already mathematics. So it's got to be right?
Well, the mathematics are perfect, but we typically say that the pickup pattern on our parabolics is equivalent to a cone that goes 15 degrees off center. That doesn't mean if you go 16 degrees, you don't hear anything, but it does drop off fairly rapidly as you get to 20 or 25. And again, even a $1,000 Sennheiser will go 45 degrees off center. A little Rode will go 95 degrees off center. I pick on them because their pickup pattern is pretty bad. I can't go into too many details, but I'm hoping, again, based on primarily the security market, I would like to get that down to 5 degrees off center.
Wow.
Which, when you think about, if you're, let's say, 100 foot away from the microphone, going from 15 degrees off center to 5 degrees off center, you reduce the pickup pattern or the surface that you're picking up by 90%.
That's a huge difference.
So, yeah, that could be huge for the security and law enforcement applications. To be honest, for sports, I mean, can you imagine trying to follow your football player that accurately? It would be a pretty difficult challenge. We've actually had to, the people that hold the parabolics on the sideline have kind of had to be retrained after using the old parabolics that were picking up 45 or 60 degrees off center. They could just kind of point it at the field and that was good enough. But with the true parabolic, they've got to be on their toes and actually following the action. One of my stories that I like to tell is the audio engineer that really worked with us when we started. He loved to have women holding his parabolics on the sideline instead of men, because they were much more likely to focus on following the action and less worrying about, oh, he's going to get it, 1st and 10 or following the game. They were worried about following the action. My biggest frustration and biggest gift are finding those students who want to do TV production but don't know anything about sports. It's the best because they're not wrapped up in it. They don't know what they're doing. So when I say, hey, go to the 15-yard line, they're like, I don't know what that is. But on the other side of it, they're not concerned with anything other than making good product. Right. Unfortunately, a lot of those guys that are watching the game so much, they're the ones that end up getting run over because of, oh, he's coming my direction. They don't worry about getting out of the way. They're trying to see if he's going to make the 1st and 10 or whatever. And our parabolics get run over on a regular basis. I would bet there's at least one a weekend that gets run over, if not more. Wow. So where can people find out more about Klover Products and all of the stuff that you have to offer? Our website is kloverproducts.com. It is Klover with a K, just to clarify. That's probably the best place to start. And once they get to Klover Products, they'll see the Klover mic, which is the broadcast version, and SoundShark. There's a separate tab for each of them. So if they're just looking at the SoundShark, something that's easy to use, throw it up and go, that's probably the place to start. We do, since I know your audience is largely in the education field, we do have an educational discount. Basically you just have to give us some evidence that you're actually a teacher and not just, want a cheap microphone, and we'll give you a code to get you a discount. on all of our products.
Excellent. Well, is there anything that we didn't cover that you think we should have?
The only thing that comes to mind right now, Tom, is we've mentioned several times, putting the little parabolic on top of your camera. But with all of our products, all of our parabolic mics, you can use any microphone that you have. For the most part, they have to be omnidirectionals. But you can put your wireless body pack inside the Sound Shark, put it on a light stand or hang it from a Gorilla Pod, off of a handrail somewhere. And now you can walk around with your camera, have your long lens be in the back of the gym or whatever, and still get very good audio. So just, I guess, a thought to put in your mind, something else for you to test.
Yeah, absolutely. I just was blown away putting it on top of the camera and pointing it and going, wow, I can hear what that guy's saying at second base from, and our backstop behind our plate. It's probably the biggest one I've ever seen. Like, I really think that it's 35, 40 feet behind home plate. So by the time you shoot that, then home plate, then second base, I mean, that was what blew my mind. And there were games, I'll admit, I wasn't filming. I was just listening. I wonder what he's saying to him. Whoop, and then pan over there to third base to hear what the third base and the base runner are saying to each other.
I have to tell you, I have been down on the field a few times at NFL games, and during, timeouts or commercial breaks, it's pretty interesting what you can hear going on the field. Oh,
I would like to say I can imagine, but I'm sure most of it is unimaginable. Well, Paul, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing about parabolics and about how they can be different and maybe address some things that some teachers are experiencing. And again, if you're an educator, go check it out. I mean, if you're not an educator, go check them out.
Teaching to the test pattern.
Well, there you have it, part 3 of my conversation with Paul Terpstra from Klover Products. Make sure you go check them out. I can't, like I said in one of the episodes, you're going to hear things that you've never thought of before. When I gave the illustration of hearing the runner's pants on sliding across the dirt as he slid into second base, I was well behind home plate. That is the sound accuracy that you're going to get with one of these Klover products. And again, I have the consumer brand. I don't have the professional broadcast one. I have the consumer level. I have the Sound Shark. It's phenomenal. I don't know what I would do if I had a big one. I would probably just walk around at random things and just spy on people. Not really. Go check those guys out. Also, make sure you thank our sponsor, Amatrace, AMITRACE.com. I could not do this show without them, without their support. They have helped me get this show off the ground, and as we close in on 50 episodes in the next couple of weeks, I cannot thank them enough for their continued support. Despite everything that we had planned, I was planning on being in Vegas in 2 weeks. That's canceled. I'm planning on still going to the Sports Video Group's College Summit in late May. I don't know if that's going to get canceled. Amatrace stuck with me. So if you enjoy this podcast, please make sure you at least go visit their website, drop them a line, say thanks for supporting Teaching to the Test Pattern, because I thank you for supporting it and for downloading it and for listening. That's it for my conversation with Paul Terpstra. Go check his stuff out at Klover Products. Have a great day, and as always, go make awesome.
Teaching to the test pattern.